project you're going to be doing, and it's also going to tie into our next subject that I'm not going to introduce until you're done the project. It shouldn't take too long. It should only take like a couple days. But you're going to be having this in front of you, this paper right here, and you're just going to be writing in. I will go back and forth for the first bit, but I think you'll catch on in order to like understand. There's not going to be a lot of writing. Obviously, I didn't leave you a lot of room. So there's a presentation and a little video just on logos. So we've been working a lot with Adobe. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to create the logo with Adobe. I think when I come back, you will. But I think it's cool just to have the sketch, and we'll transfer that with Adobe after the couple of lessons I want to go through with you these next 2 weeks. Okay, so logo design and strategies. So brand names, logos, slogans help create brand image in the customer's mind, right? These are the first things the customer sees, and they usually make the customer want to come back if you have a good, like, nice logo. So come up with some logos right now in your head. I don't know, write it down. You don't have to write it down, but like say them in your head. Like McDonald's has a really big M. Like that's a really, really common one. For me, the Star Wars logo is really common, right? So just name different common ones. So let's look at the probably a really famous one, which is Nike. So brand name is Nike. The logo is a little check swoosh. And they also have a slogan, just do it. I don't know if that was their slogan for the whole time, but I think it's fairly new and it's caught on really well. It's on everything. So those are 3 things that usually make up a company's image. Like McDonald's, brand name McDonald's, logo the M, slogan. What is like pap pap pap. Like I'm loving it. That's the slogan, right? So like those are different things. So now see, what is a logo? So I want you to put a logo as a visual symbol associated with a product or company or idea right here, okay? And then when you see these words pop up on the slides, you're going to put it there. But I can go back and forth if that helps. So it's just a picture, right? Look at all these Pillsbury, Monopoly. These are all very famous. Family Guy, Kool-Aid, Superman. Like these are all logos. Spider-Man is one of my favorite logos for superheroes. So it's just meant to give an identity and a reminder to like people who are buying it, right? So we're gonna watch this really quick video. It's like 4 minutes on logos, okay? Hopefully you guys can hear it. This would suck if you guys don't. If not, that sucks. Fast forward and then watch on your own time.
This is Michael Beirut.
I'm Michael Beirut. I'm a graphic designer.
You might be familiar with his work. But interestingly, he thinks that logos are just kind of overrated.
I am actually often very ambivalent about them.
Let's back out a second. What is a logo? Basically the face of a company.
Some are beloved, the swastika is a logo and it's reviled,
They have to work at tiny sizes and huge.
There are 3 specific types. First type is the word mark.
The word mark is the easiest one, and it's the one that we're all most familiar with. I mean, John Hancock's signature is kind of a word mark, and it can look crisp, clean, and modern like the new Google logo looks. It can look somehow that it has roots in a shared heritage the way the Coca-Cola logo looks,
The second is pictorial.
Pictorial logos often function as a kind of rebus. It's a picture, and you say what's in the picture, and it sort of is identifying the name of the company. Sometimes directly, like Target. Sometimes more indirectly, like Lacoste.
The third kind is kind of the holy grail, abstract iconography.
It's everyone's favorite kind of category because it just seems almost like magic, As a designer, people come to me and they'll say, oh, I want like something like the Nike swoosh. They think that the Nike swoosh was the Nike swoosh the day it was drawn, but it was nothing the day it was drawn.
The company that birthed Nike commissioned a design student named Carolyn to draw some ideas, and the Nike founders didn't really like them.
They sort of said, oh, let's use that one.
It wasn't like an overnight success.
And then they started putting on the designs of shoes. The shoes were good. And then the genius of Nike's marketing apparatus made us further associate that product not merely with performance athletic gear, but with the very idea of athletic achievement itself.
And that's how, over a long time, a little mark means something big.
That's exactly how religious symbols work. It's obviously not just anything inherent in these shapes, but it's about what those shapes have come to represent in the minds of the people who are looking at them.
But there's a fourth type of logo that goes beyond these three types and can use elements of each of them. The logo system, a graphical framework that can have endless permutations. The first gigantically popular example of the logo system would be MTV. But Google's Daily Doodles are another great example of the logo system, a familiar mark that can also point to other ideas and issues. This approach all has to do with technological change.
It used to be if a company was doing a logo, there'd be this military operation by which it would be inscribed on all their equipment and on their airplanes and their retail facilities, and gold pins and cufflinks would be made for the executive suite and put on spittoons and ashtrays and the top of the skyscraper in which they dwell and on everyone's business card, right? Nowadays, none of that's as important as an email signature or your Twitter avatar or the little thing that sits next to your URL. And those things are much more ubiquitous, and they can be changed at the drop of a hat.
Beirut used this system approach for his Hillary Clinton logo.
We wanted to have a mark reflect the electorate and reflect the issues. Those simple forms that comprise the H with the arrow in it are actually designed to hold not just two colors, say red and blue, but any colors you want.
The use of logo systems seems to be continually on the upswing now, probably because it allows the brand using it to expand the conversation beyond its own name.
The logo kind of reminds people that that's what our priority is today.
But at the end of the day, regardless of the shape, style, or system, it might not matter what your logo is.
It really is about thinking of these symbols as being empty vessels in a way, and then you pour the meaning into them.
So what's this all add up to? Basically, those fights people get in about new logos are pretty misguided.
They think they're judging a diving competition, but actually all these organizations are in swimming competitions. It's not what kind of splash you make when you hit the water, it's how long you keep your head above that water.
Logos need to have a long life, not win points in a discussion. 12 years after the birth of that Nike logo, Nike came back to that graphic design student, Carolyn, with a gift.
A Nike ring with her own trademark on it, the swoosh.
Thank you very much. It's beautiful.
And an undisclosed amount of Nike stock.
Wow.
In 1973, when it was designed, her pay was $35.
Okay, so that's a pretty cool video on just like local logos and how they don't just like pop up and be amazing. So, like that girl got paid $36 to make the Nike logo, obviously because it turned out well. She got stocks and logo and is probably really, really rich right now, but it doesn't happen overnight. So if you notice, go back to your graphic organizer. You'd be ready in these two, typographic and pictographic. So typographic, I'm saying this wrong 100%. So they use letters and words like Google and FedEx. And then pictorial use pictures and visual images like Chili's and Apple. Those are some really good ones. There is a mix. Sometimes they use pictures and images. But we're going to be looking at a lot of logos today. And then tomorrow or today you'll be creating your own. So the goal right here, right, is to design a logo that stands out from the crowd and is easily distinguishable from other corporation symbols. So you want you to be original and unforgettable, which is really hard nowadays because there's so many. Doesn't mean it can't be done though. Again, pause this if I'm moving too fast to write in your notes, okay? So, the simplicity. So right here, you're going to write in a couple things. Don't write it in all. I'll just tell you what to write. Its own element, all effective logo designs have in common. So people are drawn to clean, uncluttered logo designs that can be easily recognized at a glance. That's what you're going to be writing in. Whoops. From here, clean, uncluttered to this period, okay? Now, people like simplistic ones because when it's too busy, like it like hurts your head, like, and it's annoying. Like it's like a lot going on. So some people just really like the nice clean one. FedEx is really good for that one. Apple's really simplistic, right? Just like nothing too cluttered. So again, write clean to the period. So pause, write it in. So let's look at these logos. What do they have in common and how are they different? So this is Beats, Louis Vuitton, Nike swoosh. So, what do they all have in common? Hope you're talking to yourself while I'm just not talking. Anyways, so Beats and Louis Vuitton both have letters in them. but they're not like overpowering. Like Beats is just this like clean B, right? That's like encompassed by a circle. And Louis Vuitton is just the V and the L, right? So it's just like these nice clean symbols, but everyone knows it when they see it, what those symbols are. Then you have just a picture, just a swoosh. This has no resemblance to the word Nike at all, but people associate it with that. It's just a nice clean symbol swoosh. So these are all three very common simplistic symbols that are just either words or a picture. I hope that's what you said too. So proportionally, just write it in here. Again, I'll tell you what to write. So a logo should be proportioned with a width not much greater than its height. All right. So logo design should work well on anything from business cards to billboards. Logos that are too long or too tall can be difficult to read in certain situations. So I want you to write from A to height, okay? So you pause it and you write this in. All right, so let's look at some proportionals of these ones. So this is Adidas. If you notice, it kind of has like a staking up, which is really nice. The golden ratio, if you're in my 10 class, you'll remember Fibonacci sequence, which is the golden ratio, and why this is so appealing. Chanel, so you got really big double C's that are symmetric to each other, like they're the same. It'd be weird if the C was like a little bit smaller. Okay, so color scheme, we're going to be in that one now. So 80% of the world's most widely recognized logos are only using one or two colors. So it's not like they're just throwing colors at you. They want you to be able to absorb the image and know that it's not like this colorful rainbow. Some do throw in a lot, but not a lot. So good logos. There's only a few that use more than 3. So if you put too many, it just kind of looks like just like mud. Yeah. So just using a basic color palette of 3 or less, it keeps it simple, and it really shows what those colors mean to the logo. Because you don't want to just pick random colors. You want to pick colors that actually represent something important, or else you're just throwing random things in there. Okay, contrasting colors is really good. So like using a shade and then either a lighter shade or a darker shade to kind of like complement it. So what I want you to write in this one is a basic color palette of 1 to 3 colors right here. Just this little line. Boom, boom. So let's look at this really cool like color graph. So in the middle are the ones that use a lot. So like eBay has 4, Google has a lot. This is Microsoft. This is like that TV station. I actually don't know what that symbol is, so hopefully you do. But if you notice, like the greener side, like Xbox, Sprite, and then yellow, Subway, McDonald's, things like that. These are all different colors. I thought this was really cool. Take a second look at it. Yeah, some of them have changed. Like Yahoo, I know, has changed. Obviously, this is an old Xbox symbol. But yeah. So majority of brands really trust blue. I don't know why blue has been picked so much. That'd be cool to like figure it out. Less than 3% of brands are pink. You would guess that it's because then it just kind of limits the gender. Like everyone always assumes pink is girly, so you just kind of like cut off one gender automatically once you use it. So I think that's why it's so low that only 3% of them use it. So blue and red are the big ones, I think, because they're more gender neutral. That's just the theory. But and here's some more. Yeah, you can pause anytime just to read through them. So principle of logos right here. So easy to read fonts. So creating a logo design in elaborate fonts may look classy, so it may look pretty cool. But if you can't read it, why would someone buy it? So choose a font that you can easily read. Which like I know gets repetitive with other logos, but that's such an important thing. If your customer can't read your logo, then why would they be interested in it, right? So that's what you're gonna write right here. Principle. Oh, it's not there. It's like eBay, super easy to read. Google, all these super easy to read, right? So now, practical and adaptable, you're gonna write it in this one. A logo design should be practical design so that it can be affordable and easily used in various mediums. For example, a logo shouldn't be designed with so many colors, because imagine printing out a piece of paper with that logo. Like, it costs a lot of money, right? On a card, on a billboard. When you use all these different colors, it costs like a ton of money. It shouldn't be obvious. Your logo should be really easy to reproduce. It shouldn't be one that's hard to like replicate on something, because then it doesn't show up well on whatever you're trying to create. It should be easily converted to black and white so that you can use that color-free option. And web safe colors, so that when it's on the web, it looks okay, because sometimes things don't transfer over well, which is a common but really weird thing. So what I want you to write is less colors for this one, easy to reproduce, converted to black and white, and web safe. Okay, those are 4 things you write. This is originality. The number one goal of logo design is to clearly distinguish your company from others, right? One of a kind is always the best to be, because then you don't get sued, you know? And you can't borrow. You can like take little pieces of logos, but if you borrow too much, then that's when like legals come into it, right? So number one goal of design is to be clearly distinguished from a company's competitors. That's what you write from up this to the comma, okay? So pause and write it in. Industry tradition. So often there are consequences among logos in certain industries, and following these patterns and trends can help the customers more easily identify what you sell or do not, right? So when you're thinking about your design and what you're going to base off of this project, it's like, what are the patterns in that industry, right? What are you selling? What things can relate to that, and build off of there, right? So these are all vehicles. If you notice, like, there's a lot of silver. That's a huge thing. A lot of names in it, right? If you notice, the name is on it. Very few only have the symbol. So things like that. So if you notice, they all have similar shape. Like lots of these circles. Why? Why do you think there are a lot of these like oval shaped? It's because they have to fit on a car, right? Like, they have to fit on that like front bumper thing. So they all have to look nice on there. You don't want like a ugly front bumper thing, because everyone sees the front bumper thing. Yeah. These are... I always want to try Sonic. But yeah, these are fast food restaurants. If you notice, there's a lot of red and yellow in there. These are insurances. Just insurances, if you notice, like, I think people are comfortable with reading it, so they don't need this big like logo in order to say sell insurance. So there's also hidden messages in logos. So there's an arrow in the white space between the E and the X. If you notice, you see that FedEx right there. I don't know if you knew that. I always thought that was kind of cool. But like, yeah, there's literally an arrow right here, because like they go. I don't know. Famous for its 31 ice cream flavors. It put 31 in its logo. So Baskin Robbins, there's a 3 and a 1. You see that? That's pretty cool. The T's are sharing a chip over the I, and that's the dotted. So like, the I is the bowl, and the 2 T's are the people. So yeah. The collar of the girl says mom to represent home cooked. So see that? It's MOM. So then you feel like homey. It's like your mom cooked it. So there's actually a B and an M in here. So here's the B and here's the M for the Milwaukee Brewers. But it's a baseball glove because they play baseball. So I thought that was pretty cool. Chocolate Kisses is formed between the K and the I. So like right here, kind of like the FedEx. You see that? But like you see the two, it's a zoo, so you see the 2 animals. That's pretty cool. I like it when they do stuff like that. So Amazon offers everything from A to Z. So that's why that smile is there. They're saying A to Z. I always assumed it was a smile, so I thought that was pretty cool. If you look closely, like this is supposed to be Africa, like this white shape is Africa. Like that's how it looks on the globe, but it's actually created people. So that's pretty cool. So now you're going to design a logo. So here's the project you're going to be getting. It's a clothing company. Now, you don't have to do clothes. You can do accessories or something. Or if you really don't want to do anything to do with this type of field, pick your own thing to create a logo for, okay? But if you are doing the company one, which I thought would be easier, because then you have something already focused for you, is to design 4 pieces that would be sold to customers. But you need a logo, so that's the important part. That will include the clothing. So if you want to do maybe your sweatshirt company, a watch company, how is your logo going to represent that? So make sure your training work that is complete, please. Use color. There's lots of color in my room. Again, we're going to sketch it first, and then when I come back, we're going to put it on Adobe, which I think is going to be fun. Then, of course, you're going to present it. So prep work, complete the 10 questions, including the graphic organizer about your company. So right here. So take some time today. I think it's just going to be brainstorming. Today, I want you to finish these 10 questions, okay? When you're done that, you can start by putting these incomplete sentences, either typing it out or writing it out. I prefer typing just so I can read it better, but it's up to you. And then next, you're going to design. So you're going to sketch the logo. How's it going to look? What's going to call? Are you going to put the word in the logo, or even just have a logo? What are you going to do? You'll design 4 pieces for it. So 4 watches, 4 shoes, whatever kind of clothing company you want to do. Again, if you don't want to do clothing, do whatever you want. Do whatever kind of company you want, just show me some work. Make sure that your graphic organizer actually matches things that you're talking about, because I will be looking at this and then looking at your work. And then, yeah, sketch your logo and sketch your designs, okay? Again, if you have any questions, please email me. But